Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello viewers, welcome back to this course on ESD, Education for Sustainable Development. In the last classes we have already discussed about sustainable health, sustainable development and food security, all kinds of things. Today we will discuss about sustainable and clean energy. So, as you can see it relates to the Sustainable Development Goal 7. So, SDG 7 advocates for affordable and clean energy. So, these are the objectives like how to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. Okay. And under this SDG 7 there are also 5 major targets, as you can see that has to be achieved by 2030, that is the targets like universal admittance to the present day energy, increment of worldwide level of environmentally friendly power, twice as much as gain in energy efficiency, then again target 2 related to the methods of accomplishing these, that is to broaden the access to sustainable energy research, innovation, interest, grow and update the energy administration for non-industrial nations, etc. But ultimately the goal is that how to ensure affordable, which can be affordable, it can be, that means economical, affordable by everybody, by all nations, reliable, that means sustainable and reliable, and modern energy with minimum carbon emission, minimum damage, minimum negative impact on the environment or in our ecosystem. Because now in the today's context climate change is the biggest challenge, and keeping in mind this population explosion, pandemics, disasters and climate change, etc. So, we have to think about the energy sources, energy sources, how to create energy from different sources, which is not only sustainable, reliable and affordable, but also which is also renewable and which is very eco-friendly. Now, when we proceed, well, the data says that the energy progress report as per the countries, like you can say from the electricity and from the access to electricity by the year 2019, then from the like for example from the cooking gas, from the cooking purpose, that is 2019 2.6 billion people without access to clean cooking energy, that is from specifically from the fossil fuels or the forest woods, etc. Then by 2018 again energy source was consumption from the renewable, then 17.1%, that is from the renewable source, from the solar energy, then 4.8 by from the primary energy intensity by from the electricity bulb. And how that means by 2018 again the international financial rose to equip that means to support this clean energy. So, it is that means how this progress started from 2018 and gradually how it is moving up. So, what is how to that means that this is the tracking of SDG 7, the energy process report as per the 2021, how it is how the evolution, how the process has taken place sequentially. Now, in the present date, at present, then these are some of the clippings like the affordable energy challenges, that we are facing. Challenges we are facing, that like for example, lack of access to modern electricity, that is one challenge. Then indoor air pollution, because of the cookings, because of the fireworks inside the house. Then fossil fuels, main contributors to the climate action, fossil fuel, and the solutions, how it can be solved. The solution, probably solutions like the affordable, reliable and modern energy. Second is how the energy can be renewable, can be renewed from time to time, renewable energy, and energy saving policies, in terms of saving energy saving policies, renewable energy and access to clean, affordable and the renewable energy. So, these are the possible solutions and these are the challenges that we are facing. So, now, so India's source of energy from the different aspects, from different domains, like let us see, like India's source wise electricity generation capacity, like primarily it is from the thermal, that is coal industry, that is from, this is the megawatt, that means this portion, there is a major portion that we get the energy in India from the thermal source. Okay. The next becomes that this much portion is only renewable energy, and again this portion is from the hydro energy from the water resources, and this much is 6780 is gigawatt is only from the nuclear energy, nuclear source, and then the this portion is from the petroleum gas sources. So, this is the distribution of India's energy resources that we are using and consuming in our day to day life. So, again the top 5 states who have already installed the renewable capacity and of energy resources, like for example, top 5 states, those who have actually acted upon this renewable energy, how to create it, how to use it, how to maintain it, manage it. So, these 5 states are, like for example, they have about 66.99% of renewable energy capacity, they have got the potentiality. First is that Karnataka state 17.449 almost percentage, Tamil Nadu 16%, Maharashtra 12.53%, Gujarat 10.6% and Rajasthan 10.22%. So, these are the 5 states, those who have made the advanced progress in renewable energy resources, capacity, building capacity and managing these things and using it from time to time. Alongside the 5 other states are also there, like for example, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, they are also working on this they are also planning for the renewable infrastructure, to build the infrastructure for the renewable energy, and 9 states account for 91.65% of the total Indian installed capacity of affordable and clean energy. So, the nationwide policies, yes, nationwide policies and the targets, what it says, let us see. The current status that the government of India has said that that for installing the 175 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by the year 2022, which includes also 100 gigawatt from solar and 60% 60 gigawatt from the wind and 10 from the biopower and 5 from the small hydropower. So, this is the current status and the targets of Indian government to achieve 175 gigawatt renewable energy from different sources, solar, wind, then the hydropower and the bio. Now, the policy, what the policy says that? The policy says that the portion that focuses on the behavior towards the industries that produce energy at present. So, the industries, both the public sector and private sector, who are actually producing the energy. So, this is there are some guidelines in policy 1, they have to follow these guidelines, how to focus on the renewable energy sources, and policy 2 addresses the future needs of energy for sustainable growth. So, we have to assess the future needs as well right now, and accordingly plan our uses, not only uses, but the creation of these renewable resources. So, it is necessary to address the sustainability part of the sustainable energy, whatever resources that energy we are creating right now, how to sustainably use it, and what would be our future needs for the energy requirement for future generation to come, and how to not only create it, store it, preserve it and sustainably use the energy. So, this one is that creation of the energy for the present and assessing the need, and second is then assessing the need for the future requirements and sustainably use the energy. So, the policies explain these kind of aspects. Now, the current status is like that. So, target of 2022 renewable energy source 175 megawatt, that is the minimum. So, here we are focusing more on electric vehicles. So, how electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles, or zero carbon emission vehicles, pure electric vehicles, how these are to be replaced by the present petroleum or diesel oriented vehicles. So, which are actually creating the carbons and for the pollution and the environmental pollution. So, the government is planning to reduce 10% reduced spending on petroleum product by shifting to 100% electric vehicles by 2030 or before 2030. So, all these electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles and the pure electric vehicles, that is primarily the chargeable renewable energy sources are going to replace the whole automobile sector by 2030, which are primarily based on petroleum and the petroleum and the diesel products, petroleum products. So, here again the Indian government also has already started initiative to provide the electric vehicles on zero down payment, again on loan basis. On the loan basis also they have started to provide these vehicles, this kind of vehicles with zero down payment, that means in EMI basis on installment. And then again financial incentives also the government has all agreed to sponsor up to 60% of the research and development. So, government is willing to spend 60% of the fund of the budget in the research of this research and development of the renewable energy. So, these are the major you can say major attempts, major effort, major endeavor taken by the government. 100% replacement of the vehicles, zero down, that means providing the electric vehicles with a zero down payment and investing more on the research and development of the energy, renewable energy. So, similarly alternate source of energies are like for example, it is not only the solar energy and wind energy or the hydro energy, but bioenergy. Bioenergy again it is the single largest renewable source, energy source, providing 10% of the world's primary, because all these kind from the plant bioproducts, recycling and creating the energy from the bioproducts. So, that bioenergy also, how also we are going to get it by 2030 and use it maximally for our day to day activities. So, as the policy says, the portion now the policy 1 focuses more on the behavior towards the industries that produce the energy at present. How the industries are producing, how they are consuming it, how they are using it. So, the policy 1 refers to the behavior of the industries, those who are producing this kind of energy. And similarly, so what are the policies, what the policy 1 recommends for them? First thing is that, yes, we have already discussed that the decentralization of power, that is encouraging the installation of community solar farms, like in the village, in the rural areas, in the blocks, in the small towns, that is to set up or install the community based solar farms, so that they will take the responsibility of not only creating, but maintaining also that farms. So, electrifying the households and areas of the income generation activities also, that farm is also responsible not only providing the energy sources or electrifying the households, but also it also become a source of income generation for the people also. That is one, decentralizing the power system and giving the responsibility and access to the to manage the solar farms being installed in the rural areas or small town areas. Second thing is that energy diversification. Energy diversification is that using different sources and suppliers and transportation routes. So, you have to develop the mechanism for diversifying the energy sources and from multiple sources, not from one sources, but for multiple sources. How to use multiple sources of energy, how to diversify it, and in terms of suppliers, in terms of multiple suppliers, stakeholder, transportation, what would be the channels, routes, etc. That is the diversification. So, one is decentralization, second is the diversification. Third is that increase in the R&D fund, increase in the R&D funds for the government of India and the private companies also, like Reliance and other companies, and not only Hindustan Petroleum or Indian Oil or ONGC, but other private agencies, especially like this Reliance and other power sector and petroleum sectors. So, then policy 2, what the policy 2 says that Policy 2 addresses the future needs of the energy for the sustainable growth. So, we have to assess beforehand right now what would be down the line 20 years, what would be our energy requirements, because not only the cities are growing, infrastructure is growing, industry is growing, but also people's consumption is also is increasing, people's consumption also increasing. So, and again in terms of even though we are producing the modern gadgets in terms of economical, or you can say LED or economical aspects, but even then we have to assess it, map it from time to time. So, profitable scale of the renewable energy, its distribution, its service, its energy solution, business, everything. So, starting from the production to starting from the production, economical aspects, that is with how profitability would be to scale up the renewable things, cost effectiveness, its distribution system, its service, its solutions, its business, again the business. So, all kinds of things are that comes under the purview of policy 2. Then the compulsory hybrid power source for all. So, we should not depend on the only one source of energy, but compulsory hybrid power source for all energy intensive industries. That means, you have to rely on multiple sources of energy, not just only one. Microgrid, installing the microgrid to every remote location for improved electrification. This microgrid is like just your transformer kind of, but micro in terms of electric supply. So, microgrid to be installed in the remote locations, in the rural areas, in the small towns for the better electrification, and limitation to the amount of power consumed and penalty on exceeding the limit for large scale industries. So, nowadays it has already become a features like as per the consumption of your electricity, you are not going, not only that means the boards are not only hiking the prices of consumption, but also they have also minimized, that means they have customize it, that means for every household this much of power can be only be distributed. And again similarly, we are also that means the government is also putting control on the water consumption also. So, because power, energy, water, these are the very valuable resources. Similarly, the limited grant, limited permission is there for the for household water consumption, for household power consumption, electrification. So, there are that means we have to spend it, that means sustainably, we have to spend it sustainability, and there are some few guidelines. So, policy 2 prescribes for the domestic use, for the industrial uses of the power or energy sources, and we have to assess beforehand what would be our future needs and how to create renewable energy in a very cost effective way, and what would be its distribution system, its energy solutions, channels, transport, all kinds of things A to Z would be elaborated and discussed thoroughly. Accordingly, all the both the private sector like Tata Power System, Tata, Reliance, they are also investing in they are also engaged in this energy sector. So, they are also as a partnership also, they are also the stakeholders in the business. So, how to function it, how to govern it, how to manage it, how to distribute it. So, everything is related to policy 2, and as per the guideline they have to follow, both the public sector and the private sector. So, now the global energy demand is growing faster than ever. So, and however, because with the increasing population, with the increasing infrastructure, with the increasing business, with the increasing GDP, with the increasing expectations also, financial condition and expectation of the people. So, definitely the global demand is also growing faster. So, the total amount of renewable energy that is available now is growing very fast, and we have to meet the demands, we have to meet these demands. So, currently, so as per the global power market, it is experiencing the rapid power demand, because it is also for the economic growth also, energy is a very is a measure source, is a measure resource. So, we cannot ignore it, that means at the household we can control it, we can economize it, but in the for the economic growth, in the actually the enhancement in the global power market, or for the business market, and even especially for the health sector during the pandemics or the you can say disaster time. So, the amount of power currently generated by the renewables is still not enough to meet these increasing demands of the disaster mitigation, health services, and industry requirements, everything. So, this as whatever we are creating even from the renewable sources, that is not enough. So, it is also estimated, assumed that the global power supply of the renewable will grow by 35 gigawatt from 21 to 22, and it is gradually increasing. So, the global power demand growth will go up by 100 gigawatts over the same period. So, how to meet this demand? So, similarly we have to invest enough. So, we have to invest enough in this renewable energy, its infrastructure, its maintenance, its distribution, everything. So, therefore, it required to meet the rising demand for energy sources in a sustainable way. So, sustainable, that is starting from the production to the infrastructure to the distribution to the consumption to the restoration to the conservation, every aspect we have to be very calculative, we have to be very particular in not only using it sustainably, but also preserving it sustainably for the future generations. So, we have to we have to move from one presently that means present practices to the more affordable and sustainable and economical practices. So, how to move on, how to not only create the clean and renewable energy, but how to use it sustainably and meet the future needs as well. So, let us do a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, that is analyzing our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and the threats. So, when we talk about the strengths, strong points, like we can say that yes, renewable energy will be definitely cheaper, it will be cleaner, it will be sustainable in the long run, and even it will be economical also in the long run. And then it also sustainable in running the stable financial market also. So, fuel prices will not be hiked and will not fluctuate very often, and there will be less monopoly by the big companies or oil rich countries. So, oil price will be under control. So, that these are the strong points, strengths. But what are the weaknesses? Like yes, but for installing the renewable creating the renewable energy, we need to have the strong infrastructure, and especially in India. So, we have to build the which we are lacking right now is the lack of good infrastructure for renewable energy. Faster growth of the energy demand and geographical constraints all across the country. So, these are some of the weaknesses, maybe because renewable energy, that means to reach the outreach activities for the installing the renewable energy infrastructure and distribution, transport, etc. These are also, there are also remote areas, some geographical locations are also having the constraints for quick action in this way, and opportunities are, but even then opportunities are there, like we can diversify our energy sources from from solar to wind to hydro energy to bioenergy. So, there are the scope for diversification of energy sources and affordable energy for all, that is also it also gives the market, also gives the opportunity for creating more affordable energy for all. Then influence in the global market and decision, and if we become capable of creating this renewable energy, sustainable energy and from multiple sources, and we can diversify our energy sources, definitely we are going to make progress in the global market also, not only in terms of our economic growth, but also in terms of business also, like we can also supply, we can also export this kind of resources, energy resources also through outsourcing. So, then again yes, threats are there, yes, everywhere there is a threat. So, corruption and lack of interest of the lawmakers, that is, these are the, so corruption is the you can say it is an inevitable feature in our country, in our culture. So, first thing is that how to mitigate, how to curb the corruption and lack of interest. Yes, for that, for for getting the maximum benefit of this renewable energy and government spending and strategies for installing the infrastructure of this. So, we have to maintain it. So, here maintenance is another, after implementation, the maintenance and continuous monitoring, evaluation is these are the major tasks. So, we have to take, that means all the stakeholders, this is here, this thing is that government cannot take every responsibility. The private sector, whoever they are installing, they cannot take the responsibility of maintaining. Yes, they have their responsibility for maintenance of the equipments, infrastructure, etc., technical maintenance, but regarding the consumption, regarding the management, regarding the restoration, that all the stakeholders, they must also play a key role. So, therefore, how to curb corruption, lack of interest in the lawmakers, but yes, we have to very strict in the law, in the policies and following the policies, etc. So, corruption, how to curb the corruptions, how to educate people, especially educate people, like for example, installing the solar power plant, solar energy plant farm in the rural areas. Then we have to involve and engage the rural people, youth and adults, educate them, then inform them and give them the responsibility of maintaining their own things. So, we have to educate them, motivate them, think that if you run these things, if you maintain these things properly, so you will be benefited. So, once the government and the private sector, they have installed, it is your job, it is your responsibility to maintain, because it has been meant for you only, for you people to, or for your household or for your users only. So, you have to take care of. So, how to decentralize it, how to diversify it, so that for that we can develop a mechanism of regular monitoring, control, evaluation, and give the responsibility to the major stakeholders. So, that has to be done both in terms of education, information, as well as in terms of the rules, regulations, the policy, the laws also. So, for that lawmakers to be very active, industrialists, they have to be very vigilant about this. So, and the growing energy demands are also increasing, that this is also a threat, but thing is that like the other resources, this energy should not be wasted, it should be consumed sustainably, restored, it should be preserved, it should be used not only sustainably, but it will be conserved, it will be preserved for the future generation. So, up to this we have discussed about this, the basic things, basic requirements of energy, the sources, and how to diversify and etc. So, next class we will continue with this thing. Now, for the timing, I am remaining I am closing the session right now. Thank you very much.